Hello you guys, and thank you so much for tuning into my channel. So I always say it's gonna be a quick video, and then 25 minutes down the line, my ass is still running. So I wanted to make a video about DL men. Now before I get into it, please subscribe if you haven't already. Like this video if you care, and share if you can. It really does help me out. So I've talked about DL men before. I've talked about how problematic they are, how they hurt our community, and how they break down the self-esteem of trans women. I mean, it is what it is. They literally are one of the most problematic aspects of the trans dating scene and of the whole LGBT dating scene, if I had to be 100% honest. But before I can share my experiences with these dudes and, my experiences and my thoughts on them, I need to sort of frame this conversation with the fact that when I was first dealing with these guys and when I first transitioned, I was riddled with so much self-hatred and insecurity. And there was a part of me that truly believed that A, I was not deserving of love, and B, that I would never find love. So when you enter the dating world with that mindset, you're bound to only find dusty, fucked up dudes. You're bound to find men that mirror whatever is going on in your heart. Because let's be honest, a guy's not going to give you more than what you were expecting. And the problem with me is I would meet these guys, they would be DL, and because they were so attractive and they reminded me of guys I could never have gotten in high school or early on in university, because they reminded me of those guys, I was willing to put up with so much of their behavior. And I think the reason I put up with their behavior and their mistreatment of me was because I actually saw my transition, I saw my story as a liability. I saw it as something that they were putting up with me. You know what I mean? I didn't fully appreciate, I didn't fully value, and I didn't fully believe that anyone would ever want to be with me. And part of the reason I didn't believe that no one was going to want to be with me had to do with the fact that people didn't see it for me. My friends and family, they would ask me questions like, who's going to want to be with you? Who's going to want to date you? Like, what type of people are you going to date? And that plants a seed in your mind. It makes you believe that you are unlovable or unattractive, or that nobody wants to be with you. You know what I mean? And it made me feel like I had a point to prove. It really made me feel like I had a point to prove to all of the naysayers who said that I wouldn't find a relationship, to all of the haters, to all of the friends. It made me want to prove something to them, and it made me want to prove something to myself. So I stepped into the dating world with all of these insecurities and with this point that I so desperately needed to prove. And I really saw my story, my strength, my transition as a liability, and I felt these guys were putting up with me. So what did I do? I put up with them. DL men, for those that don't know, are these straight guys who date within the LGBT community, but they're very secretive and they're ashamed about their attraction for you. They hit you up at 12 o'clock midnight. They hit you up late at night. They want to come to your place. They want to hook up in their car. They don't want anyone to know that they are in any way attracted, associated, or drawn to you. But when the blinds are shut and y'all are in a dark room, then they want to show you all of this love. Then they want to show you all of this attention. My issue with DL men has always been the fact that they hate us publicly. but they love us privately. So publicly, they're the boys who are going to have the most to say about your transition. They can key the loudest. They come after us with so much venom and so much hatred. Conti, baby boy, is out here thinking about you. He's out here checking for you. But of course, he needs to save face. He needs to save face with his friends, with his community. My issue with these guys rests in the fact that they're dangerous. Girls who are killed in our community, are often girls who were either in the game or girls that were seeing DL men, and then the truth came out and the dude wanted to kill. You know what I mean? And, every time I would get into these types of relationships and these types of situations, let's not even call them relationships, these types of situationships, every time I got into these types of situationships, I was always like, I was always being Bobo the clown, being like, he might get to know me and then realize that I'm actually really cool and want to be with me, or maybe he'll take me out. And I was always the understanding one, like, this is still new for him. He's never been with somebody like me before, so I just need to be patient. He's gonna come around. No, the fuck he's not. And he's not new to this. He's been with the girls. You are not the first. I wasn't the first. None of us are the first. These men have a history of us. They have a history of messing with the girls, messing with their self-esteem, gaslighting the fuck out of them. And we have to be these mature, emotionally understanding sex goddesses that just give it to him left, right, and center whenever he wants, and hope that he is going to finally reciprocate and give you love and give you attention. And they never do, girl. Take it from me. They never fucking do. My last DL guy, and I still can't believe that I was messing with this boy. I literally made videos about him where I talked about how I didn't trust him, how I was scared for my safety when I was around him. But that fear kind of makes you want him more, or at least it did with me. So, I moved into Durbanville, which is on the outer suburbs of Cape Town. So I moved to the outer suburbs, and I was living closer to the DL boy. And I promised myself that I wasn't going to meet up with him, I wasn't going to hook up with him, I was going to be well behaved, and I wasn't going to slut around in the outer suburbs. You know what I mean? But girl, you get lonely, and these boys, let me tell you about this boy. He noticed that I was ignoring his calls. He noticed that I wasn't responding to his text messages, that I would just blue tick him and not respond. He noticed all of this. And I think he decided to step up his game, because suddenly the conversation shifted from, when am I going to see you? What are you wearing? Let's video chat. It shifted from all of that to, how's your family? How's your YouTube going? How's work? What's your star sign? A hookup doesn't ask you those questions. Or at least I thought. So he started confusing me with some of these questions. And it got to a point where I genuinely believed that, wait, maybe he is starting to like me. He's starting to like me as a person like me. But girl, it's... These guys, let me tell you something. They're good at the game that they play. They're really, really good. And when they can see that you're slipping away, they up the ante. So, I'm sitting at home and bored as fuck. It's my housemate's birthday, and all of his people are there, and I'm just in my room, bored as fuck. The electricity goes off, and now I'm sitting in the dark in my room, and I'm like, oh shit. And I don't want to go sit with my housemate and his friends because we low-key didn't like each other. So I'm stuck in my room thinking, what the fuck am I gonna do now? DL boy hits me up. He starts sending me messages saying that he's in the area and he misses talking to me and he just wants to talk. So I'm all like, okay, well, we can talk over the phone, you know what I mean? He insists that no, he wants to pick me up, take me to his place, we can drive around, but he just needs somebody to talk to. No, I could see right through that. I know him well enough to know that he is only interested in me for sex. But me, being Bobo the Clown and wanting to get out of the flat, decides, ah, fuck it. If I die, I die. Let me just respond to this boy. So I'm like, yeah, you can come pick me up. I get into the car, and I'll never forget getting into the car, and I had my cell phone, and I sent my friend a message saying, bitch, this could be the night that I die. So I'm sitting in the car, and I don't mean to laugh because there was a part of me that was genuinely scared. But I'm sitting in the car, and this guy was just like edgy. He was just edgy. And whenever he was behind closed doors, when it was just me and him, he was never that edgy. So I'm thinking to myself, what is this boy gonna do? What is this boy gonna do? And he's not really talking. So I'm engaging him. I'm like basically driving the conversation. And we just drive around maybe for like 15, 20 minutes. Literally for 15, 20 minutes, talking about nothing. And then he drops me off home. And as he's dropping me off, he's like, is that it? And I'm like, what do you mean, is that it? And he's like, no, like, aren't we going to do anything? And that's when he exposed himself. That's when I was like, everything I thought about you was true. Everything I believed about you was true. And I don't even blame you at this point for asking me that question because I'm the one who lowered myself in your estimation. So I'm not even going to blame you. So I'm like, no, dude, we're not going to hook up. So I get out of the car and he's texting me. He's trying to call me and he's like, come on, get back in the car. Get back in the car. And let's just go sit in the back seat. Maybe we can do something. And, I remember seeing these text messages and thinking to myself, this is what he thinks of me. This is what he honestly thinks of me. I'm his midnight secret. And unless I completely divorce myself from this situation, this is how he's going to continue treating me, continue talking to me. And these are the games that he's going to keep on playing. I get back home. I get back into the flat. And, I get back on YouTube. And I'm checking out people's WhatsApp statuses. And he posts a picture of his ex-girlfriend. And he captioned it, feelings that, what did he say? He was like, feelings that come back are feelings that never really went away. He posts another picture. I love you because you're a real woman. These men literally are out here clowning us, and we are the main ones giving them permission to do this. I just looked at his WhatsApp status. I actually responded to it, and I was like, I'm so glad you found whatever it is you were looking for. I wish you and your girlfriend all the best. And I left it at that. These guys are dangerous. They're dangerous for our safety. They're dangerous for our mental well-being. They're dangerous for our self-esteem. They have nothing good for us other than pain and hurt. And the sex isn't even ever that good. And the problem is, you get so traumatized by these guys that it makes you bitter. There's a group of trans girls that out the DL men that they're with. And although I don't agree with it, I don't believe in outing anyone. because I think it puts you in danger. I understand why they do it, because you get your feelings hurt and you meet somebody and you think they're going to be your one, but they turn out to be just another fuckboy who is using you, and they end up trying to humiliate you. They end up trying to make fun of you. They end up trying to dog you. They end up telling people how disgusting you are. They misgender you. They do the most. So you're sat there angry, and you want to show people that this guy's out here talking all this mess. If you only knew, if you only saw the pictures he sent me, if you only knew what he asked me to do, you would know that he's full of shit. And I've had so many opportunities where I wanted to out these guys. At the old job where I used to work, there were so many guys who would secretly show me attention. But then when we would get into the office, they would be heckling me. They would be talking all this mess. And especially if I rejected them, they would be like, you know how they do. Oh, you're a fucking man anyway. Who want to be with you? Get out of here with your, you know what I mean? They would start heckling me and they would start doing the most. I had I had an employer that was after me that then started treating me poorly. Girl, I I had coworkers. There were so many guys who literally tried to break me down in my place of work. And they tried to break me down because I had rejected them, because I wasn't willing to play any of those games with them. DL men stay being dangerous for our community. They're dangerous for everything. They're not good for anything, really. They're not good for anything. And I didn't realize how damaged I was until I hooked up with this one guy. So I met this one guy, and he's British. I met him in a club. We started kissing. We exchanged numbers. I disclosed. I told him my tea. And he would hit me up, and he was like, he's really interested in meeting me. He wants to spend some time with me. Now, I've been broken down so many times by these guys. So whenever a guy is like, I want to meet up with you, in my mind, I've told myself that he's just another deal guy. He just wants you late at night. He wants you to be a secret. He's going to treat you poorly. And that was the expectation that I had for him. I was like, he's just going to be another DL dude. And I was like, okay, well, he is cute. And if I want to hook up with him, it should be because I want to. It should be because I want to have sex. I should take him completely out of the equation and completely take out all expectations. Now, the problem is, by taking out all expectations, you lower your own standards, and you basically say to the guy, you can treat me in any which way and I will accept it. So I go and I see this guy, I go over to his place, and, we start talking. He was really engaging. So we start talking, and we make out, and then, bish, bash, bosh, we do the damn thing. And normally, a lot of these guys, as soon as y'all are done, they come up with excuses as to why you need to get up out of their house. They don't try to get to know you. But this guy, he was like different. He was asking me like all these questions. Like, he got me some wine and we were like chilling, and he was trying to make me laugh and making jokes and stuff. And I had never experienced that with a hookup. I'd only ever experienced that with guys that I had dated, like boyfriends. So he was doing like boyfriend things. And after we had hooked up, I ended up staying there for I think like an hour and a half or 2 hours. Which, if you know anything about DL guys, they kick you the fuck out of the house as soon as they nut. So after like 2 hours, I'm like, okay, I really need to go. And he's like, okay, well, it was awesome seeing you. Hopefully I can see you again. He walked me out, got me back home, and, was like hugging and kissing on me, opening the door for me, doing the most, doing the most. And I remember thinking, like, wow, like, this is nice. This is nice. This is so much better than these dudes I've been messing with. Even though I don't really have any hopes for the British boy, because I'm not going to lie, I'm bitter. I'm very bitter when it comes to guys, and I've been disillusioned. I would hope that all guys that see trans women as attractive treat us in that way. They treat us with respect. They treat us with love. They treat us with, with kindness. But before we can expect it from these guys, we need to turn the lens on ourselves, and we need to start treating ourselves with love. We need to start treating ourselves with respect. And we need to start treating ourselves with kindness. There are a lot of cute guys out there. Some of them are going to want you. Some of them are going to just want to hook up with you. And others are actually going to respect you and want to be in a relationship with you. Choose the best option for you. Remember, you have options. You don't have to subject yourself to DL men. They can do nothing for us but hurt our feelings. Thank you so much for watching this video. I know I ramble, but thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that I hope that these stories that I tell can help, even in the slightest, even in the smallest. And I hope you realize that you're not alone. Anything that you think you're going through with regards to love, with regards to hormones, with regards to surgery and transition, realize you're not alone. You're never alone. We're here for you. We love you and we support you. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you've ever had any experience like this before, please let me know. I love you so much, and I hope to see you all again in my next video. Peace, love, and many blessings.